Welcome to Better Than Yesterday. I'm Adam Churchman here with the homie Oliver Saunders.
What up, what up?
Excited to have you guys here. Thanks for tuning in. Just a reminder, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're following along on Spotify, please follow along. All the support really makes the world of difference to us, so we thank you for that.
Thank you and appreciate you guys.
So today we wanted to talk about something that I try to practice and try to avoid actually more than anything. It's the toxicity of negativity and how that can, if you're not careful, just bleed into your life.
For sure.
Before you know it, your life is spiraled all because of a mindset of negativity.
Correct.
You know, one of the things that I really vibed with you on, like right away when we first met,
Yeah.
I always would tell Eliza, and I think I've probably said this a million times on the podcast, is that whenever I left your company, I felt better.
Right.
And the importance of surrounding yourself with people who make you feel better, and how contagious that can be.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I've said this a lot in my life, that negativity is more contagious than positivity.
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so
Unfortunately.
Right, unfortunately. Like when you turn on the news,
I was literally about to say, even like let's say you hear a story, we're just making this up, about a boat that sinks, and then you hear a story about somebody that walked a kid to school that didn't have anybody to walk. Unfortunately, a lot more people are going to want to hear the story about the boat,
right,
than the positive story.
Right.
Which
it's
is
like watching a train wreck seems to be more. I don't know. I
entertaining.
I don't know. Like I follow Tank's Good News on Instagram. I think that's what it's called, because I just prefer to see that positive stuff.
For sure.
But the negative stuff seems to be everywhere.
My sort of thought process behind it, I would say, is that it all comes down to how you feel about yourself at the end of the day. So I think that if you are a positive person who is secure with who you are and where you are in life, you are able to see other people being positive and not feel jealous, not feel any type of way or resentful or have a resentment about it. But I feel like when you have something that you don't want to focus on yourself, I feel like the negativity of somebody else's story, without even realizing it, I think somebody might think, oh, it makes me feel better, or oh, I'm not alone.
Right. Okay.
Or oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People kind of can bond, and they're like, at least I'm not the only one in this crap.
It's like that saying that misery loves company. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but it seems like it's true that, you know, it's easier to pull. If there's two people, one person's positive, one person's negative, for some reason, it's just a lot easier for one person to pull the person into negativity.
Yeah.
A lot easier than it is to pull the other person to positivity.
I've seen the same thing. So one of the things that I've found the most rewarding about this show is that we've surrounded ourselves with some really amazingly positive people.
Right.
And now I generally only do surround myself with positive people.
I agree.
How do you think there's a link between that? Because when I'm looking at the successful people that I know, they all have that kind of more positive outlook on life. What's the connection, you think, between positivity and success to negativity? Like, do you think there's a connection there?
So, you know, it's funny. I was having a conversation with my son, Oliver Jr., the other day. And I was telling him, he was saying that, and we've been working on this. We've been working on not making emotional decisions. We've also been working on realizing that things are okay if they don't go your way. So I think it was this morning, actually. He was telling me, he said, hey, you know, something at school. He said, I wanted to get something at school, and unfortunately it didn't happen that way. I didn't get what I wanted. And he said, you know what I did? And I said, what? And he said, I was okay. And it made me so, so proud of him. And I said to him, and I tell him things all the time that he's only 5.5. So he gets the gist of it, but he doesn't really understand it.
Right.
But there's so many things in my life that my parents have told me, and later in life, I've been able to look back and be like, that
happens to me all the time. With my
makes,
dad, I'm like, oh, you used to say that.
Oh, right. He was right. Oh, that makes sense, you know? And so what I told him was, one, that I'm very proud of him for the way that he reacted. And I said, if you are able to master this in life, you will get very far, because not everything goes your way. But the difference between people who continue to have stuff not go their way and people that tend to figure it out is the outlook of the situation, right? And I told him, I said, look, it's okay to be upset, or it's okay to be like, hey, that's not what I wanted to happen. And I said, but to stay in that place is not okay.
Bang. So that, I think, is a really important distinction, right? Like, it's, we often, I say, I don't hang out with negative people. Like I see this reel every once in a while. It's like, I don't fuck with negative people.
Right.
If the first thing that you say after I tell you this thing I'm excited about is like why it won't work, get out of my way. I'm not spending my time with you.
Right.
But there is a difference between being disappointed, frustrated, angry with something, and then being negative, right? Like having the emotion of disappointment or frustration
is normal.
Right. That's not negative.
You can't, if you think that you're going to be able to turn that off, then you're being unrealistic.
Right. You're not a robot.
Right. You're going to be happy some days. You're going to be sad some days.
Right.
And that's what happens.
Right.
But the way that you decide to deal and the way that you decide to move forward from that event that happened, that one event that's very small in life, in the terms of life, you know what I mean? We have years and decades and that we live on this planet. That one little event that may seem big at the time.
In the moment.
But you just have to realize that if you choose to be upset and to stay negative, only thing that's going to happen is more negative things.
Right.
Because now you're blocking your blessings. Now you're not answering things the way that you would. You're not going about things the normal way that you would. So, of course, it's just going to snowball. And before you know it, everything is shit. And you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Right. And I often think of it, too. It's like, it's a worldview.
Yes.
Right? Like I am unashamed about being. I'm a positive person. Like, you're also you're optimistic. I'm just positive. I just believe like it's gonna work out. And maybe it's because we've been in some down spots and things. Yeah. I'm like, things can be way worse, right? And so my general worldview is positive.
Yes.
I come in, I get up early, you get up early, I do my day. I'm pretty positive. Doesn't mean I'm always happy.
Right.
Or doesn't mean I don't get frustrated.
Right.
But I'm generally positive. Even if I'm giving a critique of something, like it, like let's say I'm at work and I'm venting about it. It doesn't mean I hate my job.
Right.
It doesn't mean I think this place is stupid. Like, it just means that I'm disappointed or frustrated with this decision.
Right.
I'm going to be okay.
Right.
But I look at it a lot like it's a worldview, right? And so I have a positive worldview.
Right.
Which I think opens up doors and opportunities. I look at, when I think of like the toxicity of negativity,
yeah,
I'm like, it's when that is your identity, when your worldview is like always like, your Eeyore all the time, where it's like, nothing goes your way. The doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. The boss is an idiot. The this, the that.
Right.
Like, you're living in a negative worldview. No wonder things are staying shit. No one wants to be around you.
You're going to have negative results. And this is the craziest thing. Nobody wants to be around you that's positive.
Right.
Only people that that want to be around you or are going to be around you are going to be other negative people.
Yeah, no wonder you feel like shit. You're surrounded with like a whole bunch of rain clouds.
Just a bunch of people that are just like, you know what, it doesn't work for me. And you know what? And even this week, like there was a day where you were like, it's a soft reset. Like there was nothing wrong. There was nothing going on. I just didn't really want to be on my phone. I just really wanted to just be at the house. Sometimes there's days where I just feel like I literally, like, if I have my kids with me and then all of my kids are with me, everything is good. I've talked to you, we've checked in, I've talked to my parents. Sometimes I just want to put my phone down, and not scroll or not do anything like that. You know what I mean? And just sort of be present or just off the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's a lot going on, and in life, what you allow in, meaning what you read, what you see, whether or not you believe it plays a part, I firmly do.
The energy, the things that you consume come out of you also, right? Like if it goes in, it comes out.
Right. So if you're eating bad, plain example, like easy example, you're eating junk food all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to be unhealthy.
Right.
You can't
what
eat
do you
junk
expect?
food all the time and then expect to be, I'm a healthy person.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the things that you're thinking about, reading about, talking about. It impacts who you become.
Right.
Do you have any, like, I mean, I naturally think I gear more, at least in the last number of years, towards positivity.
Me too, yeah.
But do you have anything that, you catch yourself or tips or things that you do to keep you in that positive mindset when you're not, like the lessons you teach OJ?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you teach yourself that?
You know what? And I give a lot of credit to my kids because there was a lot of times that in my life where I wasn't able to think outside of myself. So just the fact that I've been a dad for 6 years has helped me come out of things. And even sometimes there may be things I don't want to talk about, or sometimes things I don't want to do, but I know that that's what I have to do. And so it's helped me because over the years, it's just sort of ingrained me to do that because I'm thinking outside of myself.
Right.
So it's easy. So it's easier to do. But we're still. I just want my kids to be the best that they could be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I know that the best that I am, the best that my girl is, the best that our house is, the better that everybody will run.
Yeah.
And so there's days where like I start off our day with that song "Grateful" by DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
And I make sure that I play it in the car. I make sure that I play it while we're getting dressed, not only for me, because without my kids even knowing it, they already think of these positive songs that we start our day with. And yeah, we play club bangers and all that, that other stuff too. But I make sure that we start our day off with some positivity because, like you said, with that, whether they know it or not, I'm literally just embedding like positive thoughts. How do you do it? Like I said, I have a cheat code, I feel, a lot of times because I am able to say, you know what, even if it's not for me, it's going to be beneficial because I got to teach them.
Yeah.
So, and to somebody who's not a father, to somebody, how do you stay on track? Because you're very positive.
Yeah.
Very, very positive.
Yeah, I am.
In the best way.
Yeah, I am. I had somebody one time be like, well, there's such thing as toxic positivity. Not everything is good. I'm like, I understand what you're saying. Like, bad things happen.
Right.
But I still believe you can find a silver lining in almost anything. Like, there's like this old saying of like, I'm going to screw it up so bad. But like the idea of like, the country's conscripting people to become military. And so they're going to round up all the young boys. But then you have a kid and he injured himself, so he can't go in. Oh, you're so lucky. And that he can't make it. And the dad's like, well, we'll see.
Right.
And then it goes on, and a good thing happens from that, and they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky." He's like, "We'll see." And then a bad thing happens. Like, "Oh, that's so bad," and they're like, "Well, we'll see."
You just
it's like
roll with it.
You roll with it, and I generally think like everything works out if you are.
I agree.
If you are working hard, if you're treating people well. I think a big one is how you treat people.
Yes.
Because this world is relational. No man is an island.
Nope.
We all need each other, and so if you're good to people and you work hard,
how's it not going to work out?
But I think what you said. I do stuff similar to you. Is when you mentioned the gratitude song or grateful.
Yeah.
It's little intentional actions, right? And so my morning routine is really important, and I've shared about that a couple of times before. Like, my morning routine is really important to me.
Right.
Eliza and I are locked in on that. That sets my day off really well.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, but our BTY journal, I use that.
Yeah.
Right. And right at the end of each day, it's like it has 5 things that you're grateful for, and then it says 3 things you're going to do for other people to make other people better.
Right.
And I think, before I even do any of it, I've written it down to be intentional about what I'm going to do today. And it's usually nothing major. It's going to be like, I'm going to encourage someone at work, or dap somebody at the gym, smile to a new person at the gym, or like just little things.
Right.
But I think that, that goes out. You mentioned it a while back in one of our earlier episodes, just about like, if you open a door for someone, how that, I believe in that pay it forward mindset.
I agree.
And so like I do stuff like that. I have music playlists. Like I have a playlist that's songs that make me thankful.
Right.
It's really hard to be a cranky, negative little bitch when you're intentionally filling yourself with
positivity.
Things like,
right.
Because it just becomes that becomes contagious.
It's like oil and water; they don't go together.
Don't mix.
So it's like you either
They don't mix. So that's kind of the stuff that I do to stay positive. But I wasn't always positive. I struggled with mental health in my life, right? And so there were definitely times where I did look at the world with like glass half empty vibe.
For sure.
But I think it's, not to negate mental health stuff. That's a whole nother topic. But
absolutely.
I do believe that a lot of things come to the choice. You can choose to see it in the negative. You can choose to see it in the positive. I tell people, even like Eliza, when we talk, or other people, I'm like, in this scenario, you get to decide how you look at it.
Right. Perspective.
Right. Why would you choose the one that puts you in a bad mood?
Right.
That seems crazy to me.
That seems crazy.
I'm going to choose the thing that makes me feel better every time.
Right. And you know what? It's a trip because it's also, I feel like negativity or positivity is also learned.
Yeah.
It's also learned. So that doesn't mean that that's what it has to be.
Right.
But I think that when you're growing up and you see people deal with things and stuff, and I remember I was talking to somebody about me and my girl and about, just relationship stuff. And they were saying how positive it is to see conflict between you and your girl, but to work it out.
Right.
Because it's like, it's realistic. You have to be realistic.
100%.
Not every day is going to be a great day. Not every day is going to be a bad day.
Right.
But the way that you choose to deal with things, the way that you choose to address people and everything is going to be a big on how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, there's days where sometimes I have to wake up and be like, you know what, everything is good. And then there's some days where I just feel like everything is good.
Yeah.
And either way, whichever way I feel like, I'm just going to roll with it and I'm just going to make it happen. And like you said, I genuinely believe that if you are working hard, staying out of trouble, taking care of the people who love you, and just having faith and doing the right thing, trusting the process, everything will work out. It may not work out today.
Yeah.
It may not work out tomorrow.
Right.
But like you said, it's also the way that you look at it. If you look at a situation and you're just like, man, that fucking sucks. It's a bummer. Nothing's ever going to come from it. Then you're right.
Right.
But if you're like, you know what, man, that fucking sucked. Knocked me down. But I'm about to brush myself off and get back up.
That's what I say to Eliza. Like when I have a bad day, I'm like, man, today sucked. I'm just not like, I'm doubting myself or I'm not in the vibe. And she's like, oh, is there anything I can do? I'm like, no, I'll be fine.
I'm gonna just reset.
I'll be okay tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be okay tomorrow.
And that's okay too.
Right.
And the fact that, and I think the bigger part of it is the fact that you're able to realize that.
Right.
Because sometimes people will sit there and just be like, I don't know, today's just off or whatever. But it's okay to be like, you know what? Today's just a weird day. Yeah. I'm ready to go to bed and start again tomorrow.
So actually, that's a funny thing you say. What are some of the things you do?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Call it a night.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know this day's fucked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get any better. I'm not on my game. Maybe I'm being too short to people. Today sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Because I know when I wake up tomorrow,
I'm going to start again.
I'm going to start all over. And I literally do. I don't wake up. I very, very rarely wake up with the same feelings that I go to bed with if they're in a negative connotation, right? I usually wake up positive and happy and
you have time
optimistic.
You have time to sleep it off. You have time to, and even if you're sleeping, whether you know it or not, like you're thinking about it. You're thinking about ways that you could solve the problem. You're thinking about ways that you could do something differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I do that too. I'll be like, you know what? I'm calling it a day.
It's
or sometimes
done,
I'll flip on the stupidest episode of Family Guy and just be like, I just want to laugh about.
I'm zoning out.
Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And however you cope with it, that doesn't matter. But the way that as long as you get back to that positivity,
right?
I think that makes the world a difference.
100%. Okay, guys, I want to know, what do you think about the toxicity of negativity? Do you guys struggle with negativity? How do you stay positive even on your bad days? Comment in our YouTube page, comment on our Spotify. We want to know. Let's get this community going, because the truth is there's a lot of negativity out there.
Yes.
So why don't we start to give each other some tips and tricks on how to become more positive?
BTY, baby. We're a community. It takes a village. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming out and checking out this episode. Better than yesterday.
Take care.